Lots of parts of the Highlanders game seem to be working. So what has been the focus of training this week?
Oh, just minimising our errors really. The bulk of our game is, we're pretty satisfied with it. Obviously a little bit of discipline is letting us down and just individual errors. So yeah, like the tight games are a part of the learning, and then the next part of the learning is sort of closing those matches out.
Do Australian refs apply different interpretation to the scrum and breakdown than New Zealand refs, you think?
I think the Aussie refs are a lot more technical than the New Zealand, so they have a tendency to pick up every little bit. We've been on the wrong side of a few decisions, and I just think that's sort of part and parcel of the game, and certainly we need to adjust, and I think that's the biggest focus for us really, is adapting on the run and adjusting to what the referee's saying.
Vivini Lasanga was a standout last week. How much more growth is there in his game?
Yeah, he just started of Vinny. So, look, first year in the team, first year playing Super Rugby, heaps of potential. Yeah, he'll just keep getting better, I think.
How much pressure is there on the tight front to get the scrum right and to deal with either the way the refs interpret it?
Yeah, look, I think the tight five have been on the wrong side of some poor decisions, and that's led to a lack of confidence in sometimes. The pressure to get it right is high internally. We've obviously got a very proud history in the Highlanders of having a very good set piece, and the last two games, you know, we were getting on the wrong side of the referee is something that we've got to rectify. So that's our focus, not pressure.
Could Hugh Renton have played this week?
Don't think so, no. Coming right, but still a little bit away.
4 Australian teams in the top 6. Is this a simple case of them all being strengthened by the players from the Rebels joining them?
Oh, I think it's a case of them winning games of rugby, and so they find themselves higher up in the ladder.
All 4 Highlanders losses have been close. Is this pleasing because we've competed with anyone, or frustrating because we haven't turned them into winning situations?
Oh, a little bit frustrating. Obviously, because you know they're all winnable performances. The first game we lost by 1 point, second game 2 points, the third game 6 points, and the other night was another tight game. So yeah, look, whilst the point margin is very, very tight, and it comes down to crucial moments, we're a very young team, and we've got to learn how to turn those moments into winning performances.
And as you approach the halfway point of the season, do you give the Highlanders a pass mark?
That's a hard question, really. I sort of assess the team's performances around the halfway point. Lots of things are going to happen from now on. You know, teams are going to streak ahead and some teams are going to fall away. So it's important that we get a good performance, a total performance on the weekend, and then we'll take it from there.
Ethan de Groot's back in the starting 15 this week. What's the thinking behind flying him over for this one, and how important is his presence up front?
Well, the thinking is that we've got an injury to our loose head, and Ethan comes in to do a job for the team.
Was it always the plan to bring him in late, or was this based on how last week went?
Ethan's plan is a little bit different to our other players, simply because he's our only All Black. So last week we give him a chance to get over a few niggles, get some fitness under his belt, and then make an impact this week against the Force.
And the Western Force are just ahead of the Highlanders in the standings. What specific challenges do they present, and how's the team preparing to overcome them?
Well, our preparation doesn't really alter too much. We're sort of looking at the areas that we needed to work on, which is eliminating errors and getting our scrum right. For example, Ethan will support that, obviously being a quality prop. And then the rest is just a process that we do every week. We go to the Force, who are very, very confident, I think. They've had some really good wins against some big teams, tight matches. They come off a big loss. Well, not a big loss, but they come off a loss against the Reds last week. So, no, we're coming together nicely on tour, and so it's going to be a good match.
And finally, how are the boys settling into life on the road in Australia?
It's always nice on tour because you're living in hotels, a lot of time to be able to connect a little bit better than you perhaps you can when you're at home. There's no distractions.
Excellent. Cheers, Jake.
Thanks.